Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new here. Hello, welcome. My name is Megan. I make videos and sometimes they're good. In today's video, I am doing a full face of Wet n Wild makeup. Super inexpensive drugstore makeup that I was very excited to get my hands on because I haven't tried drugstore makeup in a very long time. I went to my local Target the other day. Wet n Wild was buy one, get one 50% off, and I was like, ooh, Megan, you gotta buy everything. So I did. But without me rambling any further, you guys know what this video is going to be. I'm trying a lot of new makeup. As always, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, hit that notification bell to be notified every time I post a new video, which is every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Enter my giveaway that is open until March 13th to win a Jaclyn Hill Volume 2 palette from Morphe Cosmetics. And let's get into this full face of first impressions. Alright you guys, so like I said in the intro, I have a lot of makeup to get through and we are just going to get into it. Alright, so obviously like an everyday routine, I'm going to start with my primer, foundation, concealer, base situation. And for the primer, I picked out the Primer Serum. This one is a hydrating primer, which is exactly why I picked it out. They do also have a mattifying primer that looked pretty interesting. I haven't personally tried it, but I am super dry, so I thought this would be a good choice for me. So I'm just going to go ahead and try this out. Literally haven't tried any of these products yet. I bought them last night, just kind of on a whim. They were buy one, get one half, so like why would I ever want to miss that? What does it smell like? It smells like something good. I'm just gonna it's kind of peachy. Ooh, that's nice. That's really nice. This is a great scent. So I'm just gonna bring that into the skin. This kind of reminds me of like Farsali. The Farsali, you know, the drops. This one reminds me most of like the Unicorn Essence. Really a fan of that. Ooh, that feels really nice. It kind of has a little bit of a cooling effect. Nice. So after primer obviously comes foundation, and now this is a foundation that I had a while ago that I really loved, and this is a new formula of that foundation. So the Photo Focus foundation is the original. This is the Photo Focus Dewy version of that. I haven't tried this one yet. I honestly just picked up the lightest color hoping it would match. I honestly don't know if it will, but here's hoping. So we're just going to use the little paddle to apply the foundation. And I'm just going to kind of put as much as I normally do with any foundation on my face here. But the paddle does make it kind of really handy to get a good amount without being too unsanitary if you're only using this on like your face. And then I'm also going to be using the Wet n Wild Beauty Blender to go ahead and tap this all in. I like putting on my foundation with a beauty blender. Usually my go-to is the e.l.f. Cosmetics sponge, but I am open to trying new ones, especially when they're cheaper than the e.l.f. one. Ooh, that kind of looks good. It doesn't have a whole lot of coverage. I remember the other foundation having more coverage than this. I don't mind a foundation that's a little bit more medium coverage. I honestly probably should wear more medium coverage foundations. But yeah, this one I would definitely say medium. Maybe buildable. We'll have to see if it is a buildable foundation. I like the way my skin looks. It's definitely not full coverage by any means. I would call this light to medium coverage because you can still see some of those imperfections coming through. You can see some red spots. You can see some just redness throughout the face. However, I think I really like the tone of this foundation. I think that I got the color right, which is a feat in itself, but I'm going to add a little bit more just to see if it does build up at all. I know I would get more coverage if I used a brush for this, but I'm kind of set in my ways and I wanted to see how this sponge performs, which is pretty well. I'm a fan of this. Oh yeah, okay, so it builds pretty well in that outer portion of the face. I added a bunch, and then just whatever left over on the sponge I'm adding towards that center piece. I feel like I'm beating my face really hard. So obviously after foundation, I'm going to go in with concealer. Now this concealer was one of my favorites for a very long time. This is the Photo Focus Concealer. I am a big fan of this one. I haven't used it in a while. Mine kind of dried up and I forgot to buy a new one. But here we are, we're back at it. And this one is in the shade Fair Neutral. So we're changing it up a little bit. All right, you guys, so going in with the Fair Neutral Photo Focus Concealer here. And again, everything that I talk about in this video will be listed in the description box down below with its prices. And if you see anything you like, make sure to get to Target. Things are buy one, get one half right now. And you're gonna wanna take advantage of that sale. I feel like there's not a lot that gets picked up on the little brush. That is something I remember with this concealer. That I had to dip in quite a few times because I wasn't getting as much as I would have liked the first couple times. I prefer being able to dip in like once or twice maybe total to a concealer, kind of like the Jeffree Star concealer or the Benefit Cosmetics concealer. But this one you do have to dip into a few times to get the amount that you really want. It is a very firm applicator as well. It's just one of those classic doe foots. They should really look into changing that up to maybe like the paddle foot of the, you know what I'm talking about. Y'all have seen it. But I'm just going to go ahead and blend that in with my sponge as well. Making sure to go on the lids and blend out that line, because that line that you get on your lid from like liquid makeup creasing is my biggest pet peeve, honestly. Like, it's a bigger pet peeve for me than the line that you might get if you're if the foundation doesn't match you. This is nice. Yeah, I think that gave me a really great coverage. I would say, again, the concealer is a bit more of a medium coverage. You do need to dip in quite a few times. It is a little bit extra work to do it, although it's a great price point and I would recommend it if you're trying to look for something more budget friendly. Next, one thing I haven't tried before is this Photo Focus Loose Powder. I've seen these before. They used to have the pressed powder, but I never tried it for myself, but I'm really excited to try this powder. I'm always interested in a new loose powder, honestly. It's one of my favorite things to find, which is weird because you don't really see it much. And I'm going to be putting on this loose powder like I put on all of my loose powders, and that is with my sponge here. So we're using the flat side, and we're just going to go ahead and kind of bake along the under eye. Now, the one thing I like to watch for with my powders when I'm trying it out is it making my under eye look darker than it needs to be? Sometimes translucent powders tend to shift. And they make them a little bit orange, or they make them a little bit more beige under your eye, and when you're as pale as I am, you can't really have that, or else it's going to discolor your whole face. And that's not what you want. That's really not what you want at all. And then on the bottom, I'm just going to use that to set the rest of the face. I'm not seeing a whole lot of color change happening, but I am noticing a slight difference in the color tone of my face right now. I don't know if you guys are able to see this as well, or if it's just me because I'm like right here looking at my face in a very close-up mirror. I actually set my face pretty well. I can see that my nose is already starting to crackle like a little reptile. It does that a lot, so I'm gonna forgive it a little bit. But if it kind of gets really bad, I feel like that's gonna be more of a formulation problem. Alright, so moving on, we have our other face products. Now, I have a lot of other face products. I kind of went hard in this area. So the first thing I like to do when it comes to my face is the contouring. I did pick up this bronzer. It's not going to be a great contouring bronzer, but it'll do the trick for now. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do with my face is my bronzer, and this is the Color Icon bronzer in the shade Ticket to Brazil. It's a nice warm tone brown with a little bit of shimmer, I think. One thing I love about Wet n Wild that I haven't mentioned yet is that they are cruelty free. I know that is super, super important right now, and honestly, every brand should be cruelty free. I don't know why brands still test on animals, but I'm a big fan of them for the fact that they don't. There's the tea on that. So I'm just going to start by warming up the face with this giant brush from, I think this is a Moda brush. Yep, this is a Moda Pro brush. I'm not getting a whole lot of pigmentation payoff from this. You have to dip in a few times. That is fine, but I like the color for my skin. It doesn't seem too dark. It doesn't seem too orangey. It's just kind of just right. But again, not a lot of payoff. I feel like I'm having to like dig in the pan to get what I need from it. Next up, we have a whole lot to choose from when it comes to blushes. These guys are only $2.99, which made me so excited about them, but we've got a few options here. So we've got Pinch Me Pink, which is this guy right here. Super pretty pink shade. We have Pearlescent Pink, which is a little bit peachier and a little bit more subdued. We've got Nudist Society, which is a great nude blush. Could also be used as a bronzer. I would use it as a blush. And finally, we've got Mellow Wine, which this is a blush shade just made for my heart. Love this tone. So that's the one I'm going to wear. So I'm just going to use my trusty blush brush from Jeffree Star and Morphe. I wish I could have gotten more of the Wet n Wild brushes to try. I only got one, but that will be another video. Ooh, that's really nice. It's not patchy at all. It's going on very well. It's not too pigmented. I don't like when blushes are super pigmented because then you just end up with a streak of color on your face. That's not what you want. Ooh, I like that. So now that I have put on some blush, it is time for one of my favorite steps, and that is highlighter. So I got two of these different highlight bling duos. These are the Hello Halo blush and highlighters. Now this one's got a naughty name, and I'm not going to say it, but I'll put it in the description box down below if you really want to see it. And this one is called Hotline Bling. I want to use a mixture of the two of these highlights just because I think they would look really, really pretty together. And I'm going to start off with this one right here, I think. Ooh, that might be too dark for me, but it is really gorgeous. I might use that on the lid. So we are going to end up going with that highlight bling shade. So I'm just going to take my Jeffree Star highlighting brush here, dip it in, because it's very loose when it comes out of the thing. Let's see if it's going to be pigmented. Is it? Ooh, not bad, not bad. Definitely have more pigmented, but I mean for $3, why the heck not? I don't know if it's showing up on camera as good as it is showing up. Ooh, there you go. Pretty. All right, you guys, now I have all of my face done. It comes for the biggest test. Is Wet n Wild's eyeshadows actually pigmented? So I got all sorts of eye products, but before we get into our eyeshadow palette, I want to go ahead and try out their brow product. I got the Micro Brow Ultimate Brow Pencil in the shade Deep Brown, which is this one right here. It reminds me most of the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz. I don't know if that was what they were trying to go for here, but it's a really skinny, really tiny little guy. And it looks like a pretty fine tip, if you guys can see that there. It does also come with the spoolie on the other end, which is my favorite when they do that. I love when they do that. But let's get to doing a little brow here. I'm gonna need a little mirror so I can see what I'm doing. Ooh, she is pigmented. I'm gonna be really excited if this is good, because this is like $4.99. Brow Wizzes are like $21. And we're just gonna go and blend out. Ooh, this is nice. Dude, the Roomba needs to chill the heck out. So we have our brows on. Now we're gonna go in with some eyeshadow. Look, guys, I'm actually kind of nervous for this. I want this look to pull through. Eyeshadow is a really important step to making your eyes look bomb and your whole face look bomb, if you know what I mean. Oh, they do give a nice little diagram of how to do your eyes if you are interested in that kind of thing too. Oh my god, just open. Okay, this is the palette that I picked out. This is the Rosé in the Air palette. I am going to stick with more of the mauves, but you know, anything can happen when I'm doing my eyeshadow. But I'm going to start off with this shade right here, this kind of mauve-y shade. These shades do have numbers. Can't figure out which order the numbers are in, but I'm just going to show you guys each shade that I use. Now this is the crease brush. That's all it says on here. Cruelty-free, gluten-free, fun stuff. So I'm just going to dip into that mauve shade. Like I said, I dipped into the shade and then everything came off when I tapped it off. So I guess I'm not tapping it off. Ooh, that kind of looks nice. And I'm just going to keep that shade higher up in the crease here. We want to give the eye a really nice shadow to work with. Ooh, that's kind of pretty. That's giving me my eye like a really, really nice contoured shape. That's a pretty eyeshadow. And it blends well. There's a lot of kickback in the pan, which is fine. That happens with even higher end eyeshadows, but I kind of like the way that looks so far. Now I want to go ahead and deepen that up, and you guessed it, I'm going off track. We're using this Deep Old Berry shade. Same brush though. And I'm just going to take it. Now these deeper berry purple shades, they're really hard to formulate well, and they're really hard to keep without getting patchy. Which I honestly don't use much drugstore eyeshadow, so I'm excited to kind of see how these perform. I know my e.l.f. $3 eyeshadow palettes, those are bomb. If you didn't see that video, click the link in the description box. They're so good. I like the tone this is giving me. It's not super pigmented. It's definitely a shade that you would have to build up. But it's looking nice so far. I'm going to keep going with it and see what I get. Ooh, you guys. That's real pretty. I actually don't really like any of these colors for a lid shade, so I think I'm going to go ahead and take this highlighter that I could not use earlier and use that as our lid, because that color goes really well with the colors that I just used for the crease. And then I just want to go back in with that brush to make sure and diffuse it out a little bit more so it's not as harsh of a line between the two. Overall thoughts of the eyeshadow, you're not getting as much pigmentation as you would with a higher end palette. However, $4.99 for a palette that blends out really well, and honestly this brush, pretty good. I'm impressed with what I'm seeing here, actually, which is crazy because I am kind of a proponent for higher end foundation, higher end eyeshadow, everything. Alright, you guys, so the next thing I got was the Breakup Proof Waterproof Retractable Gel Eyeliner. Is this one gonna fight through the tears? Is it gonna hang on while I'm crying myself to sleep at night because my boyfriend broke up with me? No, because I don't have a boyfriend. But maybe it'll chill when I'm watching rom-coms. So we're just gonna tightline the eye here. Ooh, she's pigmented. Okay, this is performing better than my Marc Jacobs. I'm not even kidding right now. That glides on super well. I'm going to put it in the top of the waterline as well. Because why wouldn't you? Smudge that. I never know how far to take my lower lash line eyeliner because I don't want to look emo right now. Although sometimes that's a great look. Just not today. Not what I want. And finally, for the eyes, and I think my last product overall, except for my lip product, some mascara. I do not like drugstore mascara very often. I don't. It's just a weird thing of mine. I've never really gotten into drugstore mascara, but I saw this Mega Volume mascara. Obviously, I want to do a full, complete look with this. So you gotta get the mascara too. You just do. And I'm gonna put it to the test. I'm not gonna curl my lashes, which normally I do. Oh, this is what it looks like here. Okay, go off Wet n Wild, honestly. Ooh, that looks looks really good. This is like a $3 mascara. Why does that look so good? I'm so confused. This is so sick. Not great for under the eyes, but great for the top lashes. I'm not mad at the way my face looks right now. And finally, of course, we have a lip product to use. Now, I do have some other ones of these, but this is the Liquid Catsuit in the shade Rebel Rose. So we're going to go ahead and apply this guy. I love a liquid lipstick. I am very picky when it comes to my liquid lipstick. I love the Fenty Beauty one. That is the most comfortable liquid lipstick I have ever felt in my life. So let's see if this one can compete at like $3 instead of $20. Speaking of, that's what I should buy. Another one of those dang lipsticks. God. This matches the eyeshadow perfectly. That's a pretty shade. Stop, Wet n Wild. I feel so attacked. That's sick. Alright, you guys, that is it for my full face of first impressions for Wet n Wild. If you want to see more videos like this, let me know in the comments down below. I've never done a video like this before, so I was really, really excited to finally do it, especially with Wet n Wild, a brand that is really great and really affordable. Literally everything's under $5. But as always, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, hit that notification bell to be notified every time I post a new video, which is every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.